Hunter Industries is a steward of the environment and the communities in which we live, work, and play. As a steward, we understand that aligning our business goals with responsible practices will help us build business prosperity, not just for ourselves, but for our industry. We aim to find a balance between the people with whom we interact, the planet we impact, and the profits we earn. What we've learned from our decades-long journey is that it takes strong partnerships, both with inside and outside our organization, to achieve our sustainability goals. We hope our efforts will inspire others to help achieve their sustainability goals. But we don't have all the answers, and we still have a lot to learn. That's why we developed the Hunter-Welborn Circle of Excellence Awards. My Aunt Ann has been a champion of social responsibility within Hunter Industries, and she continues that work outside our organization today.
In the very beginning, the first years of Hunter Industries, the first concept of social responsibility revolved mostly around trying to be a family-friendly company, and the ideas toward social responsibility grew from there.
This award goes to companies, organizations, or individuals that have made a significant impact into the areas of social responsibility or sustainability. We hope that by creating this award and sharing these ideas, others will follow suit, and in turn we will create a more sustainable and resilient industry. Let's introduce our inaugural Hunter-Welborn Circle of Excellence Award winners.
I started out as a math major at the University of Arizona. I was very good at math, but it didn't really excite me. And then I had never heard the word landscape architecture until I was in an art class. And I went over and spoke to the folks there, and that was it. I dove right in. I went from being a B- to an honor student, and really got into it. As part of that, I was introduced to irrigation. And of course, my math background really tied into the irrigation. I just loved it.
2002, I decided I needed a change from what I was doing, which was in the vegetable seed industry, and the person who became our partner, and we set up Phytogreen. From there we just started evolving and changing soils. We built our first vertical garden panels for strawberries, and then it just keeps rolling on as we've sort of developed different green infrastructure products to satisfy the demand.
We're a landscape architectural firm that itself in community engaged design works. Landscape architects, urban designers, technical people, biologists, ecologists. We design spaces for people to engage in natural processes. We want to give them spaces to enjoy and relax and obviously explore.
My name is Craig Stenball. I'm the supervisor of building and grounds maintenance. I've been with the district 34 years.
My name's Tip Wilmarth. I'm the chair of the Environmental Horticulture Department, and I teach a lot of irrigation classes and water policy classes, and was actually a student in this program that I teach back in the 70s.
Oh, really? My name is Jeff Jurikovich. I'm a Butte College grounds lead. My responsibilities lie within everything outside the eaves of the building. I manage the irrigation systems, the trees, entire campus maintenance program. Sustainability, it's very important. That's one of our core values here at Butte College, and it's incorporated into everything from the curriculum to the land use, future planning, development. Very high priority is focused on it.
Well, I view sustainability as paying it forward, but also fixing what's broken. Because I noticed that any system, if it's not functioning properly, will degrade and break. If it's a machine, it'll eventually stop working. If it's a body, it'll get sick. If it's an environment, it'll also stop functioning properly. But bodies and environments are different than machines in that there's an inner intelligence to want to repair itself, and we just have to let it do that.
A lot of the design work we do now involves making plants sustainable in a green infrastructure regime where they're not really designed to be. Concrete walls, dark spaces, windy spaces, and we're always dealing with less than what we would like, less media volume to enable sustainable plant growth. In our greenhouse we have 850 species of plants that we draw upon to create options and opportunities to provide the solution to an architect's whim. And that's because the designs that we do are sympathetic with each other, and they've taken into consideration the light conditions, the wind conditions, temperature conditions. Yeah. From a sustainability perspective, we like to minimise wastage. So we design a lot of our irrigation systems to measure flow. That's where Hunter comes in. We like the online reporting. We like to be able to reuse our water where we're allowed to within state legislation.
Sustainability has always been very important to us in this office. What it means to me is providing a space for human interaction with the least amount of natural processes. How do we deal with the water that falls off the roof? Having food, you're going to have to create some sort of a sewer system. So where is that threshold of changing from natural systems to a mechanical system? Those are all sustainability issues we have to think about. When we get into comfort, our heart little shed needs some AC now. So now we got to mine for copper, we have to create a plastic, we have to generate electricity, and that gets into another branch of sustainability. So it's a lot to think about, and it's usually a chain reaction once you start with one process.
Sustainability to me is using our natural resources wisely. So making sure we use what we need, but making sure we're prepared and plan for future generations.
We've got our resources, our people, and our profitability or budget. Without profitability, doesn't matter how sustainable you want to be, you're not going to be around as a business for very long, and then the whole thing goes away. And so that has to be a component of what we look at.
Taking it one step further, I would say for me personally it would be being one with the environment. As we all know, this is simple infrastructure. At one point we had none. At one point we may never be here again. My goal is to leave this piece of property in as good a condition, if not better, than we received it.
In the 1980s, Tucson experienced a water crisis, and I lectured mostly with drip irrigation, part of the Beat the Peak program. It was very successful, huge turnouts, a lot of people participated, and water use did go down. I decided to start educating other landscape architects and contractors, and that's when I started teaching at the university and also at Butte College.
More and more we're contracted as a consultant to go through the buildability of a client and architect's vision. And the landscape architect, as they become more broad in their skill base, they become less ability to deal with this really defined green infrastructure end. And so they'll often have us come back into the consultancy team to sort through plant species suitability for their vision. Can we deliver it? There's always limitations, be it the amount of weight they can put on the side of the building, the amount of depth we can have as a planter to grow plants to an outcome that we want. We like to work in that group of like-minded people. We're seen as a valuable resource. For us, we're just trying to improve people's knowledge of what's possible. For us, that's giving them the ability to see what's possible. Most people only see the books and the computer screen, but when you see things in real life, you can see how a plant behaves, how it interacts with the plant adjacent to it. And those are the things that you can't pick up without seeing and feeling, and I think that's some of the things that we can really offer the industry, which we're proud to do.
We have a park project in central Los Angeles called Vista Hermosa.
This park, we actually started pushing the envelope with some sustainable features. We had a cistern at the bottom of the hill which collected rainwater where we could irrigate a portion of the site. We had permeable concrete paving for the parking lot. We had green roofs on the restrooms and the office building. So 95% of the water that falls on the site stays on the site. It's a 9-acre park. All of our projects really have some sort of a component, whether it's solar energy or our stormwater use. We have Willow Springs down in Long Beach where we're using a solar pump to lift water out of a retention basin that collects water from the 405 freeway, and that's used to irrigate a wetland. We have other projects where we're taking water out of storm drains and filtering them through wetlands or using it for irrigation before it goes back into the storm drain, back into the ocean.
In 2004, we discovered we had an opportunity to become grid positive, and that's when we started our project. We started off with a very large phase one that we concentrated on our heavy energy users on the campus. And then as we evolved, we started triggering a lot of the other minor areas. And in 2011 is when we became grid positive. Since then, we are currently in a construction mode. We just received a local bond measure. So incorporated into our new construction projects is our goal is zero net energy. So we're not just sustaining, we're constantly growing and growing with that activity too.
I teach my students about irrigation technology and the innovations that have taken place just since I've been involved in it. And it's pretty amazing. If you can't get excited about it, there's something wrong with you. And the pressure compensating equipment that's become available in the last 10 or 12 years too has been amazing in terms of distribution uniformity and proper percolation rates. We have really tight soils here, so it's really tough on our ag department to initiate irrigation properly for those tight soils. In a couple areas like my citrus orchard, we have slope, and so that area has PRS 40s with MP rotators, because I've got to put the water on nice and slow and get it down into the root zones before runoff. So it gives us an opportunity to teach our students with living labs right here on campus, which is a better example than anything you can get off a website.
Well, I realize, and I'm getting to see that a lot of the people that were my students now are paying it forward. And they become successful practitioners, and they're also influencing other people.
We look to what the market requires, and we always try and develop a new product each year. Things have changed in the sense that after some of the fires that have occurred on apartments, all green walls now need a fire compliance. So we've developed that fire compliant green wall system, which we'd been working on for a while, but it enabled us just to finish it off, get it tested, and have it available for the marketplace. But you know, our focus is to develop the products and the basis for developing green infrastructure in a sustainable way through experience.
Working with so many different people from different countries in our office and their different backgrounds and experiences, that really enriches our designs and is probably something that I've never experienced in any other office. It's not really my achievement, but it's the culture and it's the environment is really something that I like to see enriched.
The idea of not irrigating, not having landscapes, is just not acceptable on any level. I've seen quite a bit of flexibility in the industry of people creating, coming up with new ideas, new approaches, and so forth. But I feel what the industry really needs to do more of, again, is education.
We have a lot of partnerships with nonprofits and the smaller groups that are trying to get projects done throughout the city. I've seen how partnerships have helped get those projects built, whether it's just getting the public word out there that something is happening or having financial help. It's very important to have partnerships these days for how expensive things are to build. Publicity is really the best way to do it. Social media is out there and it's effective, but I still feel that there's a lot of opinion that's wrapped up in a lot of that public awareness. So if we can try and get away from casting opinions or judgments on projects and just get people to see them and experience them, I think that'll help all in all in understanding what the common goal is, which is comfortable living, sustainable living, extending the life of our planet in the places we live in.
I think that we need more education and engaging our students a little bit more, as well as our local communities.
I think it's really important that we start having more classes on utilizing newer technologies. Irrigation technology has come a long way in the last 10 years. It's becoming really simple and really easy to use, very efficient. And I think a lot of the old school way of thinking is a little bit timid about utilizing this new technology. If we develop some more courses that are strictly utilizing new technology in the irrigation industry, I think it's going to be very important to show how simple and how easy and how efficient these systems are. For cost savings, I mean, it pays for itself in a short amount of time, but it's the wave of the future, and I really think landscape design, incorporating with the new technology in the landscape industry, is something that we really need to work on and focus on for the years to come.
Well, sustainability is something that adds up over the long run as long as people are making conscious decisions every day. And they can be small, minor changes in how they behave, but it all adds up. You got as many people as we have in California, a little change by 10% means a lot of water.
We commend these award recipients for their dedication to sustainability, and we hope that the ideas shared here will inspire you and others to enact similar practices. We don't have all the answers, but at Hunter Industries, we're looking forward to working with and learning from you to build a more sustainable and resilient industry. Together, we can build business prosperity, decrease negative environmental impacts, and help build healthier communities in which we all live, work, and play.
So People often ask, why is social responsibility important? Why is it important to address sustainability issues? And I have a really hard time with that question, because for me it's just so obvious that it's the right thing to do. We're all a web of life, and whether we're a manufacturing company, a food production, no matter what we do in our lives, we're all in this together, and we just have a real responsibility to contribute to the web of life as much as we can, and take away from it as little as possible.